What's going on, guys? In this video, I'm going to talk about why I think creating a digital agency is for sure the best business for someone to start. Much safer than e-commerce and other businesses like that, is the most accessible, and how a lot of people can succeed with a business like this a lot faster than other businesses. And specifically why it's great as a first business, and then if you want to pursue a product brand or something that's a little bit more complicated later, then you can use this first business as a cash flow engine and also an experience engine for that second business. So number one, it's completely free to start, and that's especially huge if you are bootstrapping. You don't have a whole lot of money to start a business. You don't necessarily want to go take a massive loan, which I certainly don't recommend if this is your first business, because you're going to make a lot of mistakes, and it's better to make those mistakes on your own money instead of some money that you borrowed for obvious reasons. You can start a digital agency with nothing but your time and your skills. You do not need any money. You can just take on your first couple clients for a smaller amount of money while you learn your skill set and you build up your systems and your processes. And the more clients you take on, the more you can afford to hire people in certain roles, and you can grow it organically. E-commerce, for example, typically requires a pretty large amount of startup capital. Yes, there are people out there who start it with $1,000, $2,000, but that's not a reliable way to do that. That's the exception to the rule more often than not. And typically you need $10,000, $20,000 to start with a physical product business. I'll give you a quick example of why that's the case. So you have a product that you want to sell on Amazon. You need to pay for the manufacturing costs of that first round of inventory, which is typically about a month's worth of inventory so you don't go out of stock. And then you need to pay for the shipping over into Amazon from China. And then you need to pay for the second round of inventory before you've actually gotten the money from Amazon for the first round. So typically, depending on what kind of product you're getting into, that's between $10,000 and $20,000, right? And if you don't have any business experience, chances are you're going to be making some big mistakes, which is great. You need to make mistakes to learn all this kind of stuff, and that's part of the learning process. But what I'm saying here is that you can make those same business mistakes on an agency where you're not investing $10,000 or $20,000, where you are going to lose $500 of your own money on that same mistake that you would have lost $5,000 on an e-commerce business. So that's number one. Number two is that it's really easy to take money out of a service-based business. You can build it from the beginning to be very profitable. A lot of other business models, they are not going to be profitable for the first year, sometimes even the second or the third year, depending on what you're going to do. Retail, there's some friends of mine here that have opened up a gym, a really awesome gym called Nirvana Strength Bali. It takes a lot of upfront investment to open up a facility like that, or the lease, whatever you need for the land, lots of employees and team members, just a lot of upfront costs, and you're probably not going to be profitable for the first little bit. You can be profitable from day one, opening up a digital agency, just scaling up freelancing for your own clients, and then slowly building out the team. That can be profitable and should be profitable from day one. And number three is you can use this to fund your other projects. So right now I have the agency, and I've built it to a point now where I spend maybe about 2 hours a day on core processes of the business that need to get done. I spend about an hour on making sure the team has what they need, daily team meetings, solving specific problems, and then I spend about another hour on different planning for the business and other things. So 2 hours a day I have to spend. I choose to spend more time improving things in the business and working on new projects in the business, but I only need about 2 hours per day, 5 days a week to keep the business running. So that opens my time up and my energy to work on other projects, like the Danny Carlson podcast, the coaching, and all that kind of stuff. And it gives me the money to pay for that too. So I can hire editors, video editors, and other people that can help me push this new project forward that I really like. So a lot of people, they build a digital agency to fund their other projects and have the base for that. And my team too, the team for the agency, can help with the Danny Carlson podcast project. There's 3 of the current agency team members that are just also working on Danny Carlson podcast stuff because they are familiar with my processes, and you can just assign them tasks within the regular task management software. So for those reasons, I think a digital agency for sure is the best business to start. Dropshipping can be really dangerous. You can waste a lot of money on Facebook ads. Amazon FBA, even more so, even more cash flow intensive. Retail, it's a heck of a one that speaks for itself right there. In my opinion, for sure should invest in a digital agency and kick some ass with that first. Peace, guys.